Hi everybody, this is Agnes from No Sediment, and today let's look for value alternatives to some of the world's greatest wines. From the very beginning, I have always been looking for value in wine. I love well-known, highly praised labels too, and I enjoy them a lot. But the truth is, I simply cannot afford them regularly. Labels like Dom Pérignon, Stella di Campalto, or Top Burgundy are now reserved for rare celebration moments. So today, I wanted to share some of my thoughts on value alternatives to world's great wines. I will be excluding Barolo from this video though, because for one of my favorite grape varieties, Nebbiolo, I have actually prepared a separate video. And if you have some thoughts to add, please do. I would love to explore wine world together with you. Chateauneuf-du-Pape, probably the best known appellation of the southern Rhone and certainly one of the most expensive. Most often, Chateauneuf-du-Pape is a blend of several grape varieties with emphasis on Grenache. However, there are great examples where other grapes, for example Mourvèdre, dominate the blend. No matter which variety is at the forefront, these wines tend to be full-bodied, lush and fruit-driven with a savory depth. And while I would absolutely say that Chateauneuf-du-Pape can age beautifully in the bottle, the reality is that most of these wines are enjoyed quite young. Why? Simply because despite their powerful nature, they are also very approachable in their youth, driven by sweet, ripe fruit and resolved tannin. So if you enjoy Chateauneuf-du-Pape, I encourage you to try wines just across the river, those of Lirac. After all, there must be a good reason why Chateauneuf-du-Pape producers are investing in Lirac vineyards. Lirac might not offer the same level of power and structure, although you definitely can find those examples there too. But in general, these wines show more fruit and freshness in the glass, with lively acidity and leaner, tighter body. And they usually come in at half the price, if not even less, than your favorite Chateauneuf-du-Pape. Personally, I find reaching for Lirac more and more these days. I guess not many wine enthusiasts need introduction into this style or winemaking region, Chablis. For many, Chablis is one of the first fine wines they start their wine journey with. It's relatively affordable, usually unoaked, easy to understand, and easy to pronounce. For me too, it remains an unconditional classic, offering fresh acidity, bright although sometimes shy fruit, while retaining depth and expression of terroir. And while I do believe that Chablis is one of those classic Burgundy appellations still offering relatively good value, the reality is finding a bottle under 20 euros is becoming increasingly difficult. So if you love Chablis and would not mind exploring world a little bit further, may I suggest you to try Muscadet in Loire Valley. Just like with Chablis, not every bottle labeled Muscadet will be worth telling your friends about, but the overall quality has increased significantly while prices have not quite caught up yet. These wines offer similar tension and freshness on the palate, and some of the top quality Cru Communaux can still be found under 20 euros easily. In fact, some might even argue that their light body, restrained citrus and orchard fruit notes, with added depth from lees aging, make them an even better pairing for oysters than Chablis itself. When I started thinking about this video, Bordeaux kept creeping into my mind as a region producing some of the world's greatest and most expensive wines. But each time I quickly brushed the idea off because in my mind, Bordeaux as a single, albeit vast winemaking region can offer both ultra-expensive collector wine as well as single-digit glou-glou wines. So in many ways, Bordeaux can actually be its own value alternative. Take a look at the recently confirmed 170 Cru Bourgeois estates. You will find plenty of wines from your favorite appellations below 20 euro mark. And importantly, these estates were not only evaluated for the consistency of quality, but also for their environmental responsibility. Now, I will not claim that these wines have the same aging potential, and they for sure do not have the same impact on the secondary market. But if you love the classic Bordeaux style, structure, firm tannin backbone, and evolving flavors that go from delicate fruit to earthy, meaty complexity, then Bordeaux has so much to offer at incredibly reasonable prices. And it is not just the left bank, there are incredible value wines on the right bank too. Here I suggest looking beyond the well-known appellations of Saint-Emilion and Pomerol, which by the way can also offer plenty of value, and explore their satellite appellations like Montagne Saint-Emilion and Lalande de Pomerol. The potential of these terroirs is reflected in the fact that some of the most prestigious estates like Chateau Angelus and Chateau Latour have invested in the vineyards here. Despite their amazing quality, their labels may not be the best value buys though, but there are plenty of other wines to choose from. The only downside is it is easy to lose focus. There are so many labels to choose from. But if you're willing to explore a bit, Bordeaux still holds some of the best hidden gems in the wine world. I have been puzzled by the Napa Cabernet Sauvignon for the longest time. Not all of the price tags make sense to me, so it felt only natural to look for value alternatives to Napa Cabernet Sauvignon. Napa usually offers that really glossy fruit with a lot of power and often quite a bit of winemaking. But it kind of works. All that open, luscious, bursting fruit almost needs some of that oak to calm it or put it in a frame, if you will. Now, when thinking about alternatives, I had few options pop into my mind. Firstly, if we do not want to go too far geographically, Paso Robles offers an amazing quality for a fraction of the price. Just recently, I tasted through some of the J-Loire wines, and the value they offer is truly top. The price-to-quality ratio was almost hard to believe. But look also for South American classics like Chile's Maipo Valley for Cabernet Sauvignon or Argentina's Uco Valley for Malbec. These wines similarly offer rich and glossy fruit, concentration and power, all at much friendlier price point. While some of the more affordable labels are made in a lighter, more fruit-driven style meant for immediate consumption, there is no shortage of densely textured, oak-aged examples that offer similar aging potential to those of Napa Cabs. And majority of these wines are impolitely affordable, especially when compared to Napa Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, Ribera del Duero is one of the classic winemaking regions in Spain known for producing dense, full-bodied, and highly structured red wines. I have come across many articles and blog posts suggesting that its great alternative, and true, it sometimes offers better value, is Rioja. But while both regions rely heavily on Tempranillo grape variety, I think stylistically they are quite far apart. It also shows just how diverse this grape variety can be and how much impact terroir and winemaking style have. For me personally, if I were looking for alternatives within Spain, I would rather be looking towards Toro or Jumilla winemaking regions. Toro is also Tempranillo based and delivers a similar structure, density and power as Ribera del Duero, though perhaps without the same elegance often found in top examples of Ribera's wines. Jumilla, on the other hand, is based on Monastrell grape, which also produces powerful, rich and concentrated wines, but with an added spicy layer to the ripe blue and black fruit profile. But for a true value alternative, I would actually look just across the border to the Douro Valley in Portugal. It is the same river valley that continues west all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. And not all the grapes grown there are suited for port production. In fact, some of the vineyards will yield better quality still red wines. And for those of you who particularly love Tempranillo, look for the name Tintarorish, which is the local name for the grape here. Most wines will be blends though, offering rich, ripe blue and red fruit, elevated yet ripe, silky tannins, and a floral depth with notes of lilac and bergamot. So here you go, these are my 5 value alternatives to some of the wine world's greatest wines. Let me know in the comments below what value alternatives you have found and share that with us. And if you're looking for value in Burgundy, I know, make sure to watch this video next.